Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wowing the world over the platform they deserve. I am your host, Nathan Ragland, and for today's episode, we have the sensational Left at London, an indie pop artist who just released her newest EP, Transgender Street Legend Volume 2. This interview was an emotional roller coaster to say the least, one that I will certainly never forget. That being said, there are some moments that some people may not find pleasing to talk about, mainly mental health and several political movements. If you're uncomfortable listening to such things, I understand, and you're free to click off the podcast, just like how Nat was free to talk about the topics. If you do listen and enjoy the podcast, feel free to subscribe and follow the podcast on most streaming platforms, and listen to our other episodes. Each one has been fun in their own right, and I can't wait for who else I bring onto the show. Also, follow us on Twitter at PostmodArtPod for future updates and guest announcements. And now, without further ado, please enjoy the Postmodern Art Podcast. All right, Nat, before we get started, I have to start every single podcast with the icebreaker question. And so the icebreaker question is, what is your most unpopular art opinion?
Most unpopular art opinion?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. Yeah. We're not just breaking the ice. We're like fucking drilling through it. We're completely melting the ice caps with this one. Jesus Christ.
I'm hoping like this is like the hardest question so that every other question is easy to answer in comparison.
All right. I feel like my most controversial one, certainly not my most true one, but my most controversial one. Coldplay was not only good, they were great and also extremely influential.
Okay.
Not just to me, but just like the general indie pop scene. You can't tell me that you like listen to fucking like the Viva La Vida album and Parachutes.
Yeah.
Those two albums specifically.
No, I'm not...
Those albums.
Sorry, go on.
Like I've heard so many people be like Coldplay haters just for the sake of being Coldplay haters. And you know what? Like, I get it. I've also heard Milo Xyloto. We've all been there. But the fact of the matter is that Violet Hill slaps and Frank Ocean wouldn't have made Strawberry Swing if Coldplay didn't make it first. I'm just saying. I
was going to say elaborate, but I think you've done that and then some. Goodness. This is something you're passionate about this one, aren't you?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because my sister introduced me to Coldplay, which is the most fucking boring sentence that I could have ever conjured up. But it was one of my first concerts that I went to, the Milo Xyloto tour specifically, even though I did not like that album. And Chris Martin was one of my first celebrity crushes before I realized that I was a lesbian. And then let's see. The Brothers and Sisters EP, which came out before Parachutes, genuinely super fucking good.
Okay.
Super fucking good. I've covered Brothers and Sisters at this very, very old concert that I did in high school, I think.
There we go.
Yeah, so I have some Coldplay opinions. I have not listened to their latest album though. I'm just not ready.
It's one of those I'm not saying that I disagree with you. I'm saying I need to definitely give more of a deep discography dive into their stuff.
Oh no! It's the deeper that you go into their discography, the more disappointed you get. You have to just look. You just have to listen to Parachutes and Viva La Vida as albums, and that's it. Okay. Maybe Prospects March, but that is side 2 of that's the emotion side B of Coldplay albums, essentially, where it's this is the ideas that were expanded in the first one, and it's also good. It's just Prospects March,
Fair enough. And that's a hill you're willing to die on? That's an opinion you're willing to die on?
I'm willing to die on most hills these days.
Duly noted. With that, let's get on to the podcast. Welcome everyone to the Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wowing the world over the platform they deserve. I'm your host, Nathan Ragland. With me today, I have a whole entire intro just for this thing. She is a transgender indie pop artist, poet, and comedian featured in the likes of Forbes, Vice, and Great Big Story. Her newest EP, Transgender Street Legend Volume 2, is out now on streaming platforms. The Transgender Street Legend herself, Nat Puff, aka Left at London. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. It's it's like, oh God, it's like you couldn't have asked a weirder day to ask me that question. Like that specific, like, how are you doing today? Like it's been like a very like roller coaster of a day, and I think that I'm like having some major hormonal fluctuations or something, because this is not normal for me.
This is not okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
just talking about my hormonal fluctuations on a podcast, just classic casual shit,
it's just casual banter. We all talk about our hormones and stuff, right?
I mean, yeah, I mean, trans people certainly do, but like,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. I've been trying to be less of like the like, how are you doing? I'm doing great, regardless type person. Like if somebody goes like, how's your day been? And I'm like, oh, I pissed my pants earlier, so I'm not doing too well. Like, I want to be able to say that with my friends, I want to be able to say that with anybody.
Yeah. Okay.
I have not pissed my pants earlier today, but there's still like 3 hours left of the day. Who knows? I might just surprise you. I did just chug an entire fucking like liter of water earlier before this session, so.
Oh, this is gonna be an amazing podcast. I already love it so much. I'm just gonna jump right back to the interview and such. I have so many questions for you. I do want to talk a whole lot about the new EP, especially, but I wanted to talk about how you got here and such. I want to start with as I was doing my research for this, I looked at your article with Forbes, and they was talking about how you got your stage name Left at London from your junior high band. How did the name come to be, and why did you personally stick with that?
It's always funny when like people mention that I've done an interview in Forbes, because I'm not fucking rich. But anyways, like I was in junior high, and I took music lessons, like guitar lessons, at the Canelli Keys in Bothell, Washington. And right next to it was this place called the Loft at Tandem.
Okay.
And you can see where like you can see where like the Loft at Tandem became Left at London. I literally misread the sign in cursive, and I was like, that sounds cool. And I kept it as a band name, and then all the band members left, and I was like, I'm gonna keep it as a solo project
there we
name,
go,
because I do not want to identify with my birth name as my stage name.
Understandable. I just, for a second there, it's like you were talking about the Loft, and I'm like, okay, well, I wonder how that's then you're like, obviously I misread. I just had that moment of like realization, like, oh my god. The mind blown moment.
I don't think that it's there anymore. I think like the chain still exists, but I don't think that particular one exists anymore.
Okay.
Which is a shame. I literally like I was like too young. It was like a bar, so like I couldn't enter. So I literally like left a cassette tape of mine outside the door, and I don't think that they ever listened to it. So the former owner of the Loft at Tandem, if you have a Left at London cassette tape, that shit could go for a pretty penny online if you were trying to put it on Discogs or whatever.
if you know the right places to look and know the right audience to cater to.
Yeah, I made like 102 of them or something like that. Like 102 cassettes when I was in high school, like by myself. And like it was just like a live performance that I did at like this old record store that I worked at. And so like I like just like put it all on cassette, and then backed it with like this single that I didn't know where else to put. So God, oh my God, I'm like, every time that I remember that specific single that I released, it was called Give Peace a Break. And it was like this political song about how like John Lennon and Gandhi were like racist perverts.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and how they're like often like heroified or whatever the fucking word is, but like they're often like seen as like these heroic like purveyors of peace, when in reality John Lennon beat his wife, and Gandhi pretty much like was like a horrible fucking racist. So I did not vibe with that at all. So I wrote a song about it. In like high school, I was listening to a lot of AJJ at that point.
Gotcha.
That's why I was also like all on acoustic guitar and shit. Like it was
Right.
literally just me and the acoustic guitar, and it literally started with like 1, 2, 3, 4, shit like that. Like very fucking AJJ. Very fucking AJJ.
I mean, we all get different inspiration from somewhere. Some from art, and some from how horrible people are, which is understandable.
I get that way with both of those things.
There we go.
Yeah.
So music has been kind of like ingrained in your being for Lord knows how long. What inspired you to make music, let alone indie pop?
Play the notes. Love the notes.
Okay.
All the notes. A sharp, B flat.
Okay.
B. C. C sharp. Not D flat.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, not D flat. Not a fan of D flat, but D. All right, D sharp. Yeah, that one's pretty good. E. Oh, don't get me started on E.
Of course. Who hasn't heard about E enough? Jesus.
God, yeah, especially this old trans woman, but God, okay, I'm gonna stop with that bit. Anyways, hi Kitty. Hi Kitty, hi friend.
Oh.
I'm doing an interview. What are you doing with your life? Fucking nothing but eating and clawing my fucking chest at night.
I'd say this would be the first appearance of a pet, but my dogs have been heard in the background for one of the previous episodes, so.
Yeah, this cat just stays up in my room. He literally never likes to leave.
I see. Anyways. Ooh, you okay?
I'm good. It's just the cat is being squishy.
Being squishy.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to like you making music. I actually heard about you personally from a classic Twitter post, which I'll tell you right now, my background has a little bit of indicator at it. You made a video a while back, basically parodying the Tyler the Creator style, both old and new. What inspired you to actually make that post and just post it online?
I don't remember what mindset I was in when I made that. I know that I literally like. So did you see the Frank Ocean one that I made?
I did see the Frank Ocean one too.
Yeah, so the Frank Ocean one, like pretty much that like got so popular that like I was like I should like do another one of these, and then I made a Tyler the Creator one, and I didn't like it, so I deleted it, and then I like months later I was like, I still have that project on my computer. I could just finish that video again, and it ended up sounding and looking and feeling better the second time around, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. And then fucking Tyler himself like quote tweeted that shit, and I still haven't played a Camp Flog now, so it's all been for nothing.
No, not yet. There's still hope. There's still time.
There's still hope. Yeah.
Did you honestly expect the impact and like how big it just blew up randomly?
No, I did not. I definitely did not expect it to like it. I'm really thankful that I stopped doing like how-to videos when I did, because I knew that like if I kept on doing more, I would just be boxed in, which I was like starting to be. But like people haven't asked me to do like a how-to video in like a couple months now, and I'm like, oh, this feels nice. I'm just like great, cool. And then like if people are like drop another track, I would be like, oh, this is also nice. This is even better than the feeling of not being asked to do a how-to video. It's great. I love that shit.
There we go. Obviously, like it was a genuine kind of parody of it, and like I said in the intro, you're a comedian. I want to ask, whenever it comes to like making music or making content like that, is it harder for you to be like serious with your stuff, or is it harder for you to be funny with that stuff?
It really depends on the song. I feel like with like what I'm doing with Wow Okay right now, I'm like letting myself be a little bit like funnier in music, which I feel like I don't really do with like solo Left at London stuff all too often.
Okay.
Although I did make one song that I cannot tell you much, but it's literally like it'll probably be on volume 3, and
Okay.
it's like literally all a joke.
Is it even bigger of a joke than the Santa's homophobic song?
It's like that. I cannot say much about it because it spoils the song, but
Right.
I will say it's a damn good song, and I'm really proud of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll definitely keep that in mind. And that actually answered a later question I had, but since you basically mentioned it, you're already working on volume 3, or you're potentially working on volume 3.
I'm pretty much finished with volume 3, in fact.
Oh.
Yeah, I got very bored during quarantine. I
started a podcast because of quarantine, so I can relate somewhat.
Goddamn, but yeah, I literally like I've made, oh god, the amount of songs that I made in quarantine alone probably could fill up like an album and a half minimum.
Ooh.
Not all of them are good, so I'm not going to release all of them, but like I've been writing and writing and writing and writing. Let me tell you.
Well, I mean, you know, some of the bigger artists in the world have always been known about their back catalog and such. So I mean, even if there's a million different great songs, there's bound to be at least one or two bad songs that artists make. So I mean, it makes sense.
Cat is looking needy for scratches.
Let's move on. But speaking of music and such, let's talk about the one that you actually do have out there in the world right now, Transgender Street Legend Volume 2. Whenever was there always a plan for? This is kind of a stupid question, but was there always a plan for a Volume 2 whenever you did release Volume 1 back in 2018?
I mean, that's not necessarily a stupid question. It was always on the table, but I never like really considered it as a definite possibility until I made 6 Feet. Like that was the song that I was like, oh, I can make a volume 2 of this for sure.
Oh, there we go.
And so 6 Feet was like the sort of catalyst of volume 2 existing the way that it does / did. I like in 2019, about a year ago, like a year and a couple days ago to today, actually.
Oh wow.
Like I went over to Dylan's studio and we just like cranked that song out in 2 hours before I had to leave for a flight. Literally listened to it the entire flight over. That's how obsessed with that song I was.
Wow.
I literally tried to start a different album, and on track 3 of that album I was like, no, I still want to listen to 6 Feet, so I just kept on listening to 6 Feet. It was ridiculous. I got so familiar with that song so quickly. I literally listened to that song on the flight for a longer time than it took to make that song. That's how crazy that song was. That's how crazy that session was.
Goodness. I guess that leads us to the next question, right? As well. What was like the process of you said you started off by just making 6 Feet. Like, what was the process of from making 6 Feet to I need to make volume 2 to actually putting it together and releasing it to the world?
So the timeline of volume 2 was actually Choke was written before 6 Feet.
Okay.
I completely oh man, how did I forget about Choke? Damn. Okay. so Choke was the first song that I made, but I didn't finish recording it. I literally just had the instrumental done, and it was supposed to be in a completely different key and sung in falsetto, but literally like the day that I recorded the vocals, I was like, I'm frustrated with how airy and like sickly this falsetto sounds today. I'm just going to change the key. And then that's what I did. So that's the reason why it's that key. But I originally made Choke, and I actually was supposed to get a guest verse on it from a pretty well-known rapper, and he was like down for it. I'm not going to say who.
Right.
I might have already said who in another interview, but I literally tried to get like this verse from him, and he was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do a verse. And I was like, cool. And then he's like, yeah, I'll get that verse to you by October. of 2 years ago. Uh, and I never got it. So I was like, all right, I'm assuming that I'm probably not going to get this verse. And so I ended up going to like a concert of his, and like he got me on the guest list and everything. So I was like, okay, we're still cool at least.
Yeah.
And then like it was like a Halloween show, I think. So yeah, no, it was a Halloween show. And immediately afterwards, like he said this to the audience. He was like, normally I don't like to get drunk on stage, but fuck it, it's Halloween. And he just like chugged a beer or some and like I was like, oh shit, I'm not gonna be able to talk business with this man tonight. And then like he ended up like, instead of literally he announced on stage that after the show he was going to the strip club like right across the street. And I was
Living
like,
the
okay,
dream,
respect.
huh?
Yeah, but there were like multiple, I think there were like multiple strip clubs on that corner. So I would literally was like, which one do I go to? Every single one has like a significantly higher cover charge because it's a holiday.
Yeah.
I do not want to go into any one of these strip clubs, period. I'm not doing this. So yeah, the song remains verseless.
Okay, that I did not expect that story at all. That is.
Oh, believe me, neither did I at the time. But
so that whole entire process with Choke kind of came and went. And then you had 6 Feet.
Yeah, so it was Choke, 6 Feet. Then it was, oh God, was it? I'm trying to remember all the songs on my album now. It was Choke, 6 Feet. Then I want to say T-shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, T-shirt. Okay, so the track list. Let me go through the track list in my head.
I can read the track list right here. I have it written down.
Thank God.
Do you
see us?
Yep. 6
Do you
Feet.
see us?
Choke. Safety First.
Choke.
T-shirt, and then
T-shirt.
My Friends Are Really Strange.
Kind of strange.
Or kind of strange. My bad.
Yeah. They're not really strange. They're only kind of strange.
Only kind of, just a little.
Just a smidgen. But yeah. So yeah. It was Choke, 6 Feet, T-shirt. T-shirt kind of is one of those things where it's like it could technically count as the first song that I worked on because I came up with that hook in high school.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, I made My Friends Are Kind of Strange with Chuck, and then I made Safety First. And I made Safety First after I considered Transgender Street Legend Volume 2 to be finished. So Do You See Us and Safety First were originally not going to be on the and then I made Do You See Us last.
Okay. And just kind of one of those, after you made it, you package it, promote it, and here it is in the world.
Yeah, literally.
I don't know if this was intentional or not, but for me, whenever I was actually listening to the EP, I kind of got this like message of like, safety and comfort, whether it be the presence of it or the lack of it throughout the whole entire thing. Was that an intentional like thought as you were making it, or is it just kind of, this is all here. Here's your interpretation of it.
It's really strange because I feel like I never noticed that like safety motif until you mentioned it. So like the fact that like I had a motif in my album that like didn't even process with me until the fucking thing was made really kind of like shows that like, because like Choke, when you think about it, is like the least like safe song in all the senses of the word.
I was gonna say, like, for me, like, it is like the lack of it, but it's also like not just safety, but trust in the person, that you trust the person enough to treat you this way, that you want them to treat you this way. So it's like a different sort of like a layered comfort. You have an idea. That's just
no, I guess like that's really interesting that you mentioned all this, because that, like, again, I didn't really know that I was doing that as a motif. And so what I'm kind of learning is that like like I need to come up with a motif for volume 3. but it's like Safety First. That title is kind of a mislead because that like the reason that it's titled Safety First is there's no reason. I literally named the beat Safety First for no reason, and then I couldn't figure out a title for it, and the name Safety First just stuck. And like I think that's because of the name of the instrumental was Safety First. I think that's the reason that Vera said, I just want you safe and sound. I just want your arms around me in the song.
Right.
Oh, which by the way, while I'm shouting out Vera, Vera Much new EP, Thank You. It came out yesterday as of this recording. I'm on a track, and it's not even my favorite track on the EP. So, like, that's how good that EP is. Like,
there we go.
So fucking good. Yeah. So yeah.
I was gonna say the track that you're on. It's called, was it Mortifying Ordeals of Being Known? Correct.
Yeah. Did you listen to it?
I did listen to it. I also have it written down just in case, but I did listen to it, and I actually did like it. At least I listened to that song. I need to go back and listen to the entire EP that Vera released.
Yeah, the last track is my favorite.
Okay. Duly noted, and I'll be sure to. I'll update you on that. No, but like I thought it was cool that it was kind of that you guys were able to work together on like each other's little EP right there. Because I mean, what was it? I think you posted something about this on Twitter. You said that you worked with her, or she worked on your song first, correct?
Well, I know my song was released first, but I don't actually remember. I have to look this up. Hold on.
Well, I was gonna say, how did you two get to know each other, and how did you two decide? Okay, well, help me out, or help each other out for that one.
Okay, so yeah, Mortifying Ordeal of Being Known was made first, but it was released last.
Okay.
And I don't know why that is. It just sort of happened that way. And it's actually really interesting. I had like this whole like she gave me the stems for Mortifying Ordeal, and I actually made like this whole different outro, but she fucked with it, but it was just like it doesn't transition into the next song as much as my outro did, so I have to cut it. I'm sorry. And I was like, that's okay. It's okay. So yeah, it's just the way that Vera and I met, actually, and the way that me and Holiday Kiss met, the same way. I posted a tweet about like wanting to start a like WLW Brockhampton, and right. They were two of the people that like responded, and they were the two people that I like I think they were the only two people that I hit up back, and and that's no disrespect to anybody else who like contacted me. I had like a lot of submissions, but those two definitely stood out the most to me. And so like I'm really glad that I get to collaborate with like both of them. Like now with Mortifying Ordeal, Safety First, and then with Holiday Kiss, this whole Wow OK project.
Absolutely, and we will definitely talk more about that later on, but I want to get back to the EP. I wanted to go through just some of the songs themselves, because I have like some questions about each one of them. The first track, obviously, Do You See Us, featuring Nobi. Please tell me if I'm correct or pronouncing that correctly. Words are wonderful.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's Nobi.
Yes. For those who don't know, you actually also released this previously with a 2-track, just 2 singles alongside each other. I can't remember what exactly the little list was called, but I know the second song on it was As Blue as a Bruise.
Jenny Durkin Resigned in Disgrace.
Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, who is Jenny Durkin, and why was that like the prominent name for that, I should say?
She is the mayor of Seattle. Both of those songs are about Seattle politics specifically, even though that they are very relevant to the world as a whole right now. I feel like Seattle specifically is what I know and what I can write about. And because I barely leave the city. And I feel like the response that SPD and Jenny Durkin have had on the Black Lives Matter protest has been absolutely fucking atrocious, and really sort of reveals, like, really pulls back the layer of like yeah, we're an accepting liberal town. Like, no, it's a fucking, like, it's a fucking gentrified, like hellishly white, in like the most harmful of ways, like cesspool of fucking
Just white privilege all over the place, basically.
white privilege, white arrogance, and complete lack of self-awareness. And I'm not saying that, like, I am one of the few self-aware whites in Seattle or anything like that. No, I'm not that self-righteous, but like I like to believe that I try a little harder than some of the people that I've met here.
Right.
And like, I'm not going to say that, like, keeps me from critiquing myself or like looking at myself, but like, god damn, like, it's really, like, it's really kind of like, it's really weird to be in love with the city and then hate the people that are like making the city, like that like have like made the city what it is now, which is just like the city before, but like worse. It's just a really weird feeling, sort of like seeing the city change in the way that it has, well, with Amazon and
Right.
like Microsoft, and just like the fact that we have two billionaires living here, specifically, like two of the richest men on earth, both here at the same time, really, like while we have like a horrible homeless crisis here, this is getting worse and worse, especially with the pandemic. It's just absolutely disheartening. And the fact that I'm still here, even though that, like, it's hard to pay rent, it's hard to like, it's hard to stay afloat, it's hard to
survive at times.
It's hard to survive sometimes in the city, especially if you're like non, like, if you're not like white, cis, het, able-bodied, anything of these types of this, like, it's fucking disheartening, and I cannot stress it enough. I am in love with this city, but god damn, it's like,
you hate seeing how it's basically burning in front of you right now.
I mean, it's burning in front of me, but it's also like realizing that it's kind of always been burning, like, since the name Seattle was, like, ever since the name Seattle replaced like the fucking, like, Duwamish tribe names that like used to like exist prior. And that's not to imply that they don't exist now. It's just like, it's not what people know this area to be on a wide scale, and that's fucking tragic. It's disgusting.
I understand. My question with the song "Do You See Us" as well is, like, you proudly, like, wear that the emotion of, like, being in the city, among other things, on your sleeve. How important is it for you to have a message like that loud and proud in your songs, instead of just like saying it on Twitter, but yet your songs being like something completely different?
I feel like I feel like music is always the best place to express my anger. And I felt very angry on the day that I wrote that. And I am very happy that I ended up writing it. I always have, like, I've never really considered myself a political person, really. Like I am involved in politics solely because that, like, I don't know, I have empathy, but like, I wouldn't consider myself like a politician or an organizer or anything like that. So making a political statement like this has always been sort of out of my wheelhouse, but when it happens, it just happens, and it happens naturally, and it feels correct. And so I was very happy that energy was shown, even though that the reasons that it were shown were not the most pleasant of reasons. I have a very mixed feeling about that song, and like I don't think that it was an improper song for me to release, but I do feel like it's not a song that I can like jam out and smile to, you know. I get angry when I hear that song because I'm like reminded and shit.
Right,
But,
right.
Yeah. So it's like a very weird song for me to hear back.
But it's one that definitely needed to be out there and needed to be released, especially with everything that's been going on in the world, especially in Seattle for you.
Yes.
Um, I do want to say I enjoy hearing that song like every time. You know, for me, I feel kind of the passion and the anger that you have when with your lyrics and Nobi's as well. Just
Yeah.
the 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 intensity of it, like it matches kind of just how messed up the world is, especially at this point.
So it's like I feel like one thing that people do in this particular time and space is that like we don't allow ourselves to get as angry as we should / want to. Like I've kind of like I remember like the moment that a Chick-fil-A was built in Seattle, I literally started losing faith in like Seattle. Like that was like the like defining moment of when I like started like being like, oh, Seattle kind of sucks, and the people who live here kind of suck because like Chick-fil-A, I'm sure their sandwiches taste great, or whatever, but they're still like run by like homophobic bastards,
Yeah, who
and
still fund thousands and thousands of dollars into anti-homophobic like therapies
or
and
not
all stuff.
anti-homophobic,
Oh,
but
sorry, homophobe. Not yeah, Jesus, that'd be quite
yeah,
the reversal, wouldn't it be?
yeah,
No, but to homophobic therapy and such. There's reports
yeah,
about it
like
all over the
conversion
place.
therapy.
Conversion therapy.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, and so like the idea that like not only one but like five or something like that. Like I looked it up recently. There's like 5 or 6 Chick-fil-A's in
Goodness.
like King County alone. And the fact that all those got built within the past like 2 years, and I I haven't really had friends who've like eaten there, but like the fact that they're still open, and like whenever I drive past them, like the drive-through line is like has like at least 1 or 2 cars in there. I'm just like I like that was a moment where I was like, Seattle can't shock me anymore. I genuinely like lost so much faith and comfort in the city that day. And it's weird because it's like it's just a fucking sandwich shop, but like
it's
like goddamn,
it's the concept and like the meaning and like what the people are presenting themselves behind it that just makes you just make your skin crawl.
Oh yeah, it's the principle of it all.
Yes.
It's definitely not the it's not the sandwich.
Right.
It's not the
right.
sandwich alone.
Right. Anyways, wow. Words are wonderful. It's hard to find words sometimes.
Them.
Yes. How about we've gotten a lot. We talked a lot about the first track, and if that's all from the first track, I'm amazed to know what the rest of the song list is going to be like. Let's move on with 6 Feet. Now, you said that you made the song in like 2 hours. How's it like working with Dylan Brady, the producer for this one?
Like for being as like for making as boisterous and like quirky music as he is, he's one of the most soft-spoken like producers that I've worked with. Like I literally remember like he's quirky only in words, and in delivery he is the most like zen person. I remember specifically he like was like the moment that I walked into the studio to make 6 Feet, he was just listening to Jenna Rose's My Jeans, if you remember that song. Okay. He was just like, yeah, this is hard. He was just like, yeah, this is hard. Just like he just like was like speaking its praises, and like that was when I knew that like oh shit, like this guy finds value in everything musically, and not allowing myself to do that, I am doing myself a disservice and my art a disservice. And that genuinely the 6 Feet session changed my fucking like life. It changed the way, like, in multiple ways. It changed the way that I viewed music, and it literally caused me to get a like 5th diagnosis.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because that entire song is about OSDD-1B, if you're familiar with that. I'm not sure if you saw the thread that I did about it, but
I wish I did. I apologize for not seeing it beforehand.
no problem. I tweeted it like months and months ago, so it kind of got buried. But pretty much OSD-1B is like alongside DID are the modern terms for what we used to know as multiple personality disorder.
Okay.
So 6 Feet is very literal. It is not about the call of the void. It is literally about me talking to myself until I realize that I'm not talking to myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That. Okay, that. Now every time I listen to that song, it's gonna be a whole different like meaning whenever I listen to it. That's
like when I first made it, I was just describing like a panic attack that I had one time, and then I showed it to like my therapist, and then that sort of like caused the discussion to happen.
okay. Wow. That's
Yeah.
again, like you said, definitely changed your life in more than ways than one, huh?
Yep.
That
That's also what my friends are kind of strange about too, but it's like
okay.
in a much more positive light.
Okay.
A much more positive light. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can go ahead and jump to that one already. Let me put the thing. Anyways, but yeah, like, cause for me at least, like I felt like it was a feel good song, especially compared to like the rest of the songs that were on the EP. What made you want to add that one to the mix of the rest of them?
These are kind of strange.
Yes.
I feel like Volume 1 just ended on such a downer note. I felt like I needed to like pick it up a little bit the next time. And the fact that it like ends with like applause and like all my friends like actual friends of mine like just singing the chorus that I wrote like
Aww.
really ended like the whole album on a really positive, really pleasant note. And so I was really happy with the way that it closed the album specifically. And oh god, if as far as like endings to Transgender Street Legend volumes go, the one that I got for volume 3 is a fucking doozy. Let me tell you that it has made me cry.
Oh man, I need to get tissues ready then whenever you do decide to release it. Goodness. All this emotion just from music. I guess that's the power of music itself.
Oh yeah, for real. I mean, like I love crying to music. That's like a hobby of mine. Like just like, yeah, I'm going to just like smoke a joint and like put on like whatever like album like just hits my bones the right fucking way.
There we
go. And then like, ugh, goddamn, like I'm trying to think of albums that have done that before. I'm looking directly at my like Igor vinyl right now, so that's like the first one that's coming to mind.
Oh,
but
there we go.
Oh my god.
Yes. I don't know if you can tell from the video. I already got the Vote Igor sticker right here. So.
Oh fuck yeah! Did you get the original cover or like the alternate cover?
I don't have vinyl, so I didn't get either.
Oh, you just got the sticker.
I got the sticker. I got the sticker because I got a keychain off of the golf site, and it's like, okay, well, you wanted this, well, we'll give you this as well. I'm like, awesome, this is better than I expected. Because I mean, I listened to that whole entire album. It premiered it came out like 2 days after my birthday, so I considered it my own like personal birthday gift, even though Tyler has no idea who the fuck I am. But it's one of those like I absolutely fell in love with that, like just listening to it over and over and over again. I thought it was gonna be hard to top Flower Boy, but I could not stop listening to that. Like
it's really strange because like continue.
No, I was gonna say like just the raw emotion that you feel with Tyler at sometimes, especially when Are We Still Friends comes out at the tail end.
Yeah, that's a classic closer, and also like a fucking I literally like so I literally went to his concert in Portland like a day after I got broken up with.
Oh.
And oh my God, it was like it was the sweetest hell I could have ever experienced. Let me tell you, it was tragedy and catharsis and all rolled into one. It was heartbreaking but so pleasant. Anyways, I'm talking about somebody else's album.
Right. Let's get back to.
Yeah. Let's get back to this.
Yes, let's get back to your EP and let's get on to the third track of the thing, which is Choke. I just want to say first off, girl, you nasty. With that song.
Yeah, it was a. I literally remember like putting a poll on my Instagram that that was like, if I made a slow song, would you want it to be sexy or depressing? And then before the results even came in, I was like, I'm gonna make it both. And then I started like talking about like how like sort of like that like using sex as a way of like feigning intimacy between a partner who has romantically pretty much lost interest in you but is sexually still into you, and sort of like parsing through that denial of losing that romantic interest with them via like just having a bunch of sex and being like, yeah, this is making love, but it's just having sex with somebody who doesn't love you. And it's happened before to not more people than just me.
Right. But
yeah, it's a tough fucking thing to write about. I don't feel like I've heard too many songs about that particular topic.
No, but like I was gonna say, like, you know, with some of with the way that's like presented at times, how are you able to make like such a very like, at least to me, it seems like a very intimate song about something that's like as, you know, rough to, you know, just straight up just something as rough.
I don't know. I don't feel like I have that much to hide with my audience. I feel like, I don't know why that is, but I just feel like I feel like there's this relationship that I have with my audience in which I don't really have like, not necessarily the choice, but it's like I don't really feel the need to be private in terms of like my songwriting style. So I just sort of write what I want to write about, and if it's blunt, then it's blunt. Like literally the only times that I've changed lyrics were like when other people were involved, and like I like would know that it would make other people uncomfortable, like specific people. And so like not to drop another song that's not even on the EP out, but like Black and White. When I released Black and White, I had to change like some lyrics about those because oh boy, that song was a lot more personal than it was, and that song was already pretty personal.
Oh no, absolutely. I since you mentioned that song, I want to kind of lead it into the next song on the album, Safety First. With both songs, there's a trend, at least both of them, of that like sudden shift in tone, like halfway through the song. And like with Black and White, like I love Black and White. It's like at least top 2 or 3 songs for me. How I know I'm weird. But
no. I that was like an approval. Not like a. Not like a.
I thought you were judging me for a half second there. No.
No. God forbid. Before we continue, I really have to piss. So I do not.
That's fine. It's fine.
I will be back. I will be back in like 2 minutes. I'm not even gonna hang up the call. You're gonna hear my fan blowing and maybe my cat sniffing the screen.
That's fine. It's just one of those, like, for this part, I'll just like I'll cut it out, so you can go ahead and take care of your business, and I'll just be ripped.
Oh no, I want you to include all of this.
Okay, that's
make sure. Yeah. Make sure that you include me saying the phrase "I'm going to piss now" directly in this interview. Otherwise, I'm walking.
Okay, then go for it.
All right. Here I go. All right. I am putting my phone on the charger so it charges a little bit while I'm gone.
There we go.
I am walking away. I am opening the door. I am closing the door. Oh.
One bathroom break later.
I'm opening the door again. I am closing the door. I am walking towards my phone. I am unplugging my phone from the charger and now plugging in my headphones because I have a fucking Apple iPhone. Putting on my headphones, taking my cord, plugging it in, and we're back.
Oh my goodness. I just died laughing for at least a good 30 seconds just with that whole entire thing. You know what?
Do you ever see something like that's just like, oh, something bad has happened here? I just experienced that where I went into the bathroom and like I sat down, and then at the foot of the toilet I noticed 2 socks like taken off, and I'm just like, oh, this was a miraculous shit that happened around this vicinity just now. Like somewhere in the past like 20 minutes this has happened, so like, and it was so gruesome and painful that they literally had to take their socks off midway through. I've never had that experience before. I've never seen anybody go like, oh man, halfway through this shit I gotta take my socks off. No, I've never seen that in my life.
I'm almost scared to ask what the fuck is going on.
I wish I could tell you, but alas, I do not have the answer.
Duly noted. God, I gotta talk with you more often. This is like interesting conversation.
This is like my like average interview. I feel like I like I'm either like super sleepy and depressed, or like I'm just this like constantly. There's no in between. I do not have a spectrum in my interview style.
Fair enough. And you know what?
It's just this.
And I'm just gonna say it. Fuck it. This whole entire little bit right here, maybe, you know, like minor chops, but I'm making this like the Twitter teaser. Like I put like a little video, like, you know, letting people know, hey, here's the guest for this week. I'm making this the teaser. You can.
Oh yeah, me just going to the bathroom.
Yeah, just Rave's like, yo, hey, make sure you let everyone know I've got to take a piss. Just.
Fuck yeah. I appreciate it. I run it back. DJ, run it back, you know? Let these people know.
Yes. Back to my question before that all just happened.
Yes.
But with Black and White and with Safety First, you have this like the shift in tone like halfway through the song, and like I loved the one that you did for Black and White, but like you seem to have perfected it when it comes to Safety First. How did you feel like is there like similarities that you feel between the two songs, or was it just a coincidence that just happened, or did you intentionally like, you know, this song, you know, I like this, I want to be able to do this, but I want to make it better than I've ever done it before?
Black and White's beat switch, I feel like was like meant to be like a smack in the face, whereas Safety First beat switch was like the immediate moment when you realize that like the drugs are wearing off, if that makes sense.
Okay. No,
like the immediate moment that where it's like the immediate moment where you're like, oh, this is no longer fun. I'm just feeling weird, you know? And it's like, that's like Safety First beat switch in a nutshell. I made those two sections I've said this before, but like I made the I don't have energy anymore section, that particular outro, before I even knew that it was going to be a part of Safety First.
Okay.
Like I just realized that they had the same tempo, and so I just like mashed them up and then added like a transitional part, and that was it. And then immediately I knew like, okay, yeah, shit, this is one of my favorite songs that I've ever written. Like no fucking question about it. This is one of my favorite songs I've ever written. And I remember listening to the first half of it before I made the second half of it over and over, being like, what is missing? How do I finish this song? It's a great song, but I don't know what is missing. And then that ending came, and yes. I was shocked that I made it. I mean, I was shocked whenever it came out, because it's like, you know, it's been one of the songs that I've had on loop personally, because it's just like it's that little gradual build, especially for that final part, and then just like the like I literally like smack whatever's like close to me whenever like that final like
tiny little whisper almost happens at the end. Like, it is such an amazing song. I cannot, I can't stop listening to it. Really.
Oh my god, that actually makes me feel super fucking good because there's like I love it when like you have to do like this one ritualistic thing like every time that you listen to this one particular song. I do that with Wrath, the like with like the full version with ASAP Rocky and Frank Ocean and all those people, but like the Frank Ocean verse specifically where he like where he's like sleep in the grass, Teddy, sleep with Teddy. Every time that he does Teddy, every time that gun cocks, I literally like have to like cock a fake gun, like that I'm like pantomiming holding, and for some reason it's always like a fucking like musket or something. For some reason, it's never like a fucking like handgun. It's a literal fucking like huge fucking like cock it from the bottom, like you're stroking the world's longest dick type fucking gun, like that's like I'm assuming Frank Ocean is not is like I feel like that gun is owned specifically by people who like wear like full body underwear and like live on the bayou, but like Frank Ocean is not that person. So I don't know where I got that image in my head from, but like I just like I literally remember I was on the freeway. I was turning onto the freeway.
Yeah.
And during the turn, that part was coming up. So I literally cocked my fake gun as fast as I could and skidded back onto the road. I do not fucking play around with this shit. I cannot stop.
Who knew that music could be so dangerous versus being?
Oh, I sure as hell did. I sure as hell knew.
I mean, I will say, to be fair, like, so my technical night job, I'm actually on I work on a forklift and stuff, so, and I'll have like the little speaker, you know, like hanging from my forklift, and like every time that song comes on, like I'll try my best to like make sure the steering wheel is like you know, where I'm actually straight, or hopefully I'm not moving, but like I still have like the, you know, da, 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 boom, and like make sure I just grip onto the steering wheel, make sure I don't run into anything, because Lord knows I don't want to cause thousands of dollars of damage and lose a job.
Oh man, that'd be the best way to lose a job though. If you haven't done like the company like significant amounts of damage before you get fired, then like frankly you're doing it wrong. Go big or go home. At least quit. At least quit if you're not gonna fucking cause damages to the company, you know? Hey, quickly, any future employers that are listening to this, I do not mean any of this. This part in particular is just a joke, and I'm really excited to work for your company. And oh, is that a new tie? You look lovely. Anyways,
fuck, this is an awesome interview. Okay, so wow. Now, so again, safety first. Amazing song. Get with it every single time. The last song that we'll talk about, since we already talked about My Friends Are Kind of Strange, is T-Shirt. When you released that, you also released a music video for it, which had you in like just about a T-shirt for every single word in the song. How much did that cost? I just have to ask out of curiosity.
$200 plus the cost of the
animation,
spray paint cans.
Spray paint cans.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even remember about the cost of the animation. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it was around like probably like $350, which is like for a music video, not that bad of a budget. No. Oh, I also bought my roommate who filmed it, the camera they, as I affectionately listed them in the credits.
There we go.
I bought us like a shit ton of Thai food after the shoot, so like that was like also part of the production costs, I guess.
So we're thinking like yeah, $350, $400.
Yeah, $350, $400 overall. Yeah.
And I mean it's a great song. I do want to ask about you have at the end a quote from, correct me if I say this name wrong, Valeria Espinal. Is that how you pronounce the name?
Valeria Espinal. Yeah.
Okay. You had that quote at the end of the song. What was the significance of including the quote about just the resilience of the human body?
It's really funny because I had 3 different ideas for the ending of that song. Okay. I knew that I wanted to end with like the fade out of the pitch shifted choir, and like I had like made that and didn't know what to put over it. I was thinking about having my friend write a poem over it, but she ended up like being like, I'm not sure if I could write a poem. I haven't written in so long, and so I asked. I asked Val, who's just a friend of mine, to just like hop on the mic and say whatever they wanted to say. And so they just like talked for like, I pretty much like one thing about, I don't want to really reveal too much about them because it's like their life, but like one of their favorite things to do is walking, just walking like everywhere, like ridiculous amounts of like distance. And like, so I just asked them, why do you like walking? And that was part of their answer. Okay. And so I thought it was beautiful, and I thought it was a perfect contrast to like this whole song where it's like, damn, I've gotten better, but I still want to die. Yeah. And then like having this like contrast where like she's just talking about like just how we do these strange things to stay alive. Very similar to sort of the thesis that was brought up in, I believe the title of the song is Amy Spent, aka Gladiator 1, by the Mountain Goats, which like the whole chorus is literally like just like do it. Like the first line of that song is do every stupid thing that makes you feel alive. Do every little thing that tries to take the dark away or something like that. But like the whole chorus is just stay alive. And like I feel like that sentiment has been very important to me. And so like hearing Val sort of echo that statement in their own words was super important to me and to the song. So I was really happy about that.
I mean, it's a nice little addition, like you said, nice little ending note with that song. And of course we have My Friends Is Kind of Strange, which we already talked about, and that's the EP. That's Transgender Street Legend Volume 2.
Well, it's been a great time. I'll see you. Later. Bye.
No. That's not the end of the interview. I'm just saying that was just.
I'm kidding.
Now that it's out there, how's the response been on your on your end, seeing the amount of streams that it's gotten and the love and support that people have given to it?
It's always very weird answering that type of question, and I'm not going to fault you for asking it, but it's always weird answering that type of question because it's always like I always wonder, like, should I be more grateful? Should I be like more like, should I be hungry for more? Like what, where's the balance here that I can like accurately say like, because if I'm being honest, like there was a part of me that was like, damn, I wish this did a little bit more. Like, I wish this had a little bit more impact. But I remember what happened when I released the first volume, which it didn't like start making numbers until like months after the fact for no particular reason. And then I'm just like, all right, I'll trust the process. I'll let this one sit with people, and hopefully that will. Because a lot of shit released that day. September 25th was not a good fucking day to be an independent artist releasing an EP. Like, it's not the best day for that. But it was, like, the amount of responses that I got thus far were very, like, enlightening and very interesting and very, very kind. And so I'm very thankful for all the people that like told me directly that like my shit like was really important to them, because like God, like whenever anybody tells me like the range of which they have been affected by my music, it's always very it always is shocking. Like, it never will stop being shocking, I hope, where it's just like somebody comes up to me and tells me like, hey, you're the reason that somebody told me that My Friends Are Kind of Strange was the reason somebody found out that they also had the same diagnosis as me. That, like, this EP came out so fucking recently, and now they're already like, holy shit, this is like exactly what I'm feeling. That must mean something, you know? Like,
I certainly think it does. I mean,
yeah, it's fucking wild, and it's extremely, like, I can't put a word to the feeling. It's like
I think the easy way
it's
probably
like it's like humble, but it's not an act of humility. It's like, but it's also not adding to my ego. It's just shocking, and like a good shocking. It just shocks your system and makes you feel like pleasant in like a very like eyes wide open way. It's hard to describe that feeling. I don't think there's a word for it.
I mean, I'm sure if there is a word, someone would be able to, I understand. I understand.
There's probably a German word. Yeah, there's probably a German word for it. The Germans have a word for fucking everything.
No joke. No. I do want to say though, at least for me personally, I want to say, with your music, after I did first see you with that the Tyler video, like, I've listened to a lot of your music, and I've always found like an odd comfort with your music. So I want to say personally, thank you for taking the time to do what you do. Thank you for releasing the new EP, because it's absolutely wonderful, and I listen to that stuff on a loop a lot, and I honestly cannot wait for what's next when it comes to Left at London Music.
You should definitely. I'm not sure when this is coming out, but you should definitely try to make it to the Minecraft show. I've been trying to invite everybody to the Minecraft show, because this shit is amazing. I'm so happy with what Robin and I have been cooking up. Holy shit!
There we go. I was gonna say this episode should be coming out, I think, October 8th. It's gonna be next Thursday when this comes out. But
okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like a week before.
Yes, exactly. But I was gonna say, speaking of that, now that we have, Volume 2 out of the way, like I said, we've mentioned a good bit, you've already announced that your next project is this collaboration with Holiday Kiss called Wow Okay. How did the project came to be with the call for the Brockhampton thing, correct? Or am I wrong to assume that?
No, that's completely correct. I was originally wanting a lot more people involved, and slowly, like, the people either like were getting less and less involved, or just like I realized like the collaborations wouldn't like fit together as well as I hoped that they would.
Okay.
And so eventually the project just sort of like fell through, and then like I got contacted by one of the people organizing the Minecraft concert, and they were like, hey, do you want to perform again? And I'm like, yeah, but let me just check for something. And I just immediately contacted Rob and was like, hey, do you want to just make Wow Okay a duo, and do you want to premiere our shit on like this concert? And they were like, yeah, sure. And so we already had like 3 or 4 songs in the works together.
Okay.
So like we already had set a precedent for it, but like it was just an immediate sort of like impulsive response, and I'm so happy that it happened, because wow, some of the new stuff that we've been making is just like ridiculous. It's great, and it's going to be perfect for the atmosphere of a Minecraft concert. That's all I'm going to say there.
I was going to ask, I mean, obviously you chose to work with Holiday Kiss. What's been like the process like working with them, and making songs and such with them, as compared to, say, working on your own stuff?
Well, this is going to be kind of a no shit answer, but like it's a lot more collaborative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe it, but it's surprisingly much more collaborative when you add a second person. But
But like, for example, like, has the your two's, I don't know how different your guys' styles are, but is it meshed well? Do you like, is there stuff that you've already been like, this stuff's gonna be incredible? How big of an ambition do you have for this collaborative project?
Well, it's like I feel like we balance each other out because that like her knowledge in their knowledge and like expertise with like electronic production is sort of like balanced by my knowledge in songwriting and arrangement. So like literally like a lot of these songs that we've made, we just sort of made like a minute, like they'll make like a minute and a half long song or like just like an 8-bar loop or something like that. And then we'll just arrange around that. And then all of a sudden, boom, song. And then we just write verses over that, and then that's what we got.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and like you said, what was it? October 17th is supposed to be this Minecraft concert. Am I saying that right?
Yes. We're after Kaya Crawford and right before Neil Ciceriga.
Okay. So for those that can attend, please do attend. I mean, with this collaboration, I also have to ask the question: Is there any anybody out there that you would love to just make the call for, to say, I want to collab with you at some point? Is there any dream collaborations with you?
I have a beat specifically meant for Denzel Curry.
Denzel Curry? Okay.
I have a beat specifically that I think that he would sound ridiculous over. And I've had people ask for the beat, and I'm like, I'm waiting on Denzel. I literally, because I don't know if he actually did it, but literally, like, because that, like, one of the people that Denzel follows me, I pretty much, like, asked through a game of telephone, like, hey, can you just, like, give Denzel this beat and see what he says? And then he was like, yeah. And then sent it to him, and then never got back to me. But such is life. Yeah. So I have tried to give this beat to Denzel, and I just want to at least hear him say no, like at the very least, before I give it up entirely, because it's such a fucking good beat.
Okay.
I'm so happy with it.
All right. I have to ask the ever so generic question: with what you've been doing now, what you're planning on, where do you eventually see yourself, say 5-10 years from now?
Open a joint, eating some mac and cheese, living the good life,
There we go.
Yeah, that's what I hope that I'm doing in like 5 to 10 years. I hope I'm still doing that.
Okay. I mean,
yeah. Musically and artistically, I don't want to jinx anything, but I hope to continue. Like, I hope to have finished the albums that I have finished writing.
Okay.
Like, production wise, and like be satisfied with them and have them released. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Well, I know myself and many others, we are definitely anxiously awaiting for that day to come.
Myself too.
There we go.
Yeah.
So that's most of the questions I've had. I do have one last question that I like to end every podcast on. For you personally, I mean, obviously, anyone can say that music is art. So for you, how important is art, not only for yourself, but for the world as a whole?
Pretty important. I'd say it's pretty important. I'd say that like it's the reason that I still feel like I am here. I'm very I'm very open with my mental health struggles in my music, and I feel like music, having that as an outlet and just having that period, is the most helpful thing for my mental health. And to like conclude my answer, I would like to play Hot Cross Buns for you.
Okay.
Hold on. Is this...
heard it for a second.
Yeah, it was in a minor key.
It's in a minor key.
Yeah, I bought this recorder in like a oh, hi Kitty. You did not like that sound? That makes sense. It was an awful sound. But yeah, I bought that at like a souvenir shop on the tour that I did with Valentine at the beginning of the year. Did a tour right before the fucking quarantine.
Yeah, before
that
all
was a trip.
This crap went down.
Yeah, that was a trip. That was a trip for sure.
I mean, I don't know what else to call it. I mean, that's what going from one place to another is called a trip.
Yeah. This cat is being very needy right now, which is never like him. He's just like meowing, just like, please scratch my belly.
Nat, this has been an absolutely amazing interview. I cannot thank you enough for taking time out of your day to just sit down and chat. This has been everything that I had hoped for and then some. Like, it has been really something else. I don't know if I'll ever have another interview like this ever again.
I mean, if, like, frankly, the only way that anybody will top this is if they, like, you know, bring the recording equipment into the toilet while they're peeing. Frankly, until somebody has that courage, I don't think that this interview will be topped. I'm calling it now.
If I had, like, a leaderboard for, like, top interviews, I'll be sure to have your name, like, right at the top. So...
Oh my god, this cat! Oh, what a cutie!
For the people at home, go ahead and plug your stuff.
My name is Left in London. I have EPs. Two of them are called Transgender Street Legend. One is Volume 1, one is Volume 2. That's the way that numbers work. I also have the Purple Heart EP, but it's not as good, but some people like it. Anyways, I also have some singles. I have Wow Okay, which is coming out with some stuff soon. And what else? Follow my Instagram. I feel like people follow my Twitter, but not my Instagram. Actually, no. If anybody's going to follow anything, follow my Spotify and my YouTube page. I feel like that is much more important for my career.
There we go.
But either way, I feel like I've properly promoted myself. If you want any links to these, just go to leftinlondon.com, where I have the links to all of my socials at the bottom of the page. And oh boy, are there a lot of socials. I did not realize how much I was on the internet until I designed the website with my friend. She was like, hey, what do you want to put under, like, social media? And then I started giving her links upon links upon links, and I was like, Jesus Christ, do I need all of these? And the answer is yes, I do, and I have a problem. But yeah,
the problem is people don't know you enough. You need to
problem is people don't know me enough. I gotta conquer pornless Tumblr next.
Pornless Tumblr. Good lord. Yeah. That's all right then. No. Once again, thank you so much for taking time. If you, for whatever reason, need someone for a speaking part for any future project, or if you're in Georgia and want someone to do a music video, I'm here for you. I
will try to remember that I have a resource in Georgia the next time that I'm able to travel in 2059. But
oh man, you're giving. Man, you're being generous. 2059, goodness.
2059, yeah.
No, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And for everyone else at home, hasta luego, mi amigos.
Bye-bye.